Yes, we are live. Hey everyone. Yep, we are live on YouTube as well. This on this channel, like in this video. So you can, if you all wanna have a quick look at that too, that works. So this is kind of like double recorded. All right, so we made it. Hey, go on, Avinash. Start.
Okay. Where is Mohit? Mohit,
Yeah.
start recording this session. And
Hello, Praveen. Hi, Praveen. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation for the workshop, and we are looking forward to it. And I am very thankful to you as well, accepting very short notice beyond of me and by the team as well. So over to you. So I will be very much sure like the students will learn a lot of things from you today from
Definitely.
this workshop.
Sure, for sure. At the moment, yeah, I'm also like I'll also give a quick introduction about what is gonna happen and everything. Like how should I say? So I'll tell basically what we are going to build and also give a quick introduction about the whole thing what we are doing. And apart from that, if there is any questions, this I want this whole thing to be like interactive. So everyone please be interactive, so that will be really nice. And um, just give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, so that is something which I wanted to tell. And yeah, so apart from that, I guess yeah, we'll carry on with the whole thing. Okay, so great. How's everyone today? I'm also will be able to see the chats as well on YouTube too. So for people who have connected on YouTube, you can use the live chat, and for people who are in Zoom, we can also talk together. And this will be perfect. Yeah. So with that being said, okay. So today what we are going to do is, how many of you have heard of something called as Socket.io or WebSockets?
I have heard about it, but not that much knowledge.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else in the chat, like Zoom or YouTube? You can just put your thing as well. Okay, looks like not many people knew it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly explain what WebSockets are, what they do, etc. And so for persistent connections, most of us have worked with chats and other things, right? So anything that is going to use real-time data, like for example, if something happens in another client that needs to be broadcasted across all the clients, this is something basically what socket programming does, and WebSockets are mainly used for that. So today what we are going to do is it's again like it's extremely sudden, and thanks to Mohit and others for arranging this one. And I just came home from a crazy place, and then now I am in front of you all. So yeah, so it was really good doing this, and let's carry on with this one. All right, so the first thing that we are going to look at is how we are going to build a real-time application. And this real-time application is going to be what do you call this? Okay, I keep forgetting a few things, so just bear with me. We will be creating a real-time doodling application. So when someone starts drawing something, so everyone knows that how Google Drive works, right? So this is something related to Google Drive, but something with drawing. So that is what we are going to do. All right, and let's look at what all things that we are going to do. And before that, for people who have not met me, my name is Praveen, and I'm a full stack developer I'm originally from Chennai. I'm currently staying and working in London. And that's a quick introduction. I'll show you my website, and then we will directly jump into a call, or like, sorry, what do you call this? Jump into directly demo. Okay, so I'm also looking at the comments from YouTube and other Zoom. So uh, yeah, so RTC, real time communication apps. Yes, that's right. And hey everyone. So a lot of people have joined. Okay, super. So that is what we are going to build now. And the first thing for it is setting up our desktop and other things. Okay, so before that, let me share my screen. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see my screen, right? Just confirm me. Yeah, okay. So the first thing which I'm going to show you is, like, let me quickly introduce about myself. So this is me. This is how my website looks like, and not the loading part, obviously. Hey, so it's a quick portfolio. So I'm a full stack developer. I develop web applications, and I've got a couple of experience, some education. And by the way, I recently started my own YouTube channel as well. So please come and look at that too. And yeah, so that's about it. And before going further, we are going to look into what exactly the development environment that I've got. So if you search on Google for Praveen Dev Environment, the first link that you will be getting is the my personal development environment in Google, which looks like this. I'll be sending all the links through other people, and yeah, so you'll be getting the links for sure. Okay, so here the main thing that we will be using is, let me zoom this in a bit. It will be Google Chrome, and that is one of the best ways of, I mean, one of the good browsers that supports almost all the features and functionalities that we need. And I'm on a Mac machine, by the way, and we are also installing a couple of things, like let's say, okay, these are the things that, okay, now who's that actually doodling this thing? Okay, so we need to actually disable the annotations here. Right. All right, so let's go ahead. Yeah, so with that being said, we've got Zoom. Zoom is for communication and other things. So I'm mainly going to be using VS Code and Node.js for this whole entire application, and we'll be using Socket IO as well. So these are the couple of things that we'll be using. Okay. Yeah, and the next thing that we will be looking at is how we will be setting up our Visual Studio Code. So I have used a couple of, like, around 7 to 8 different extensions. So the main extensions that I'll be using here is the Prettier, ESLint, and even this is not much helpful, but Prettier and ESLint helps you in making your code readable and make sure that there are no compile time errors. It is something like type checking and other things, but in a simpler level. Okay, so let's carry on with the whole demo purpose. Okay, so what I'm going to do first thing is I'll start with creating a GitHub repository. It is going to be a public repository. So I'll just go ahead and create, let's say, Express Doodle, something like this, and I'll just put it as public. So if you want to start creating an awesome interactive doodling, co-doodling application, then this is it. So that's what I just create. This is also a part of Praveen's live stream on the same topic. So Express Doodle is the repository name. So I'm just creating a new repository. So this repository is available here. I'm just gonna share this on both Zoom as well as on what do you call this? Okay, so YouTube. So just give me a second. Yeah, Suryesh, my profile picture is like 10 years ago. I'm really sorry about that confusion. So a lot of people said like my profile picture and my in the portfolio looks smaller, so it's 10 years ago. Yeah. Okay, let's continue this one. So if you want to set this up in our VS Code in our local, what I generally do is I try to, oh wow, there is a custom notification settings. Okay, fine. I'll just copy this one. The first thing I do is I copy my username from here, put an at and put it before this, and then let's open up a new VS Code window. And then when you open this for the first time, you could see here there is a option to clone the repository. So this is what we need to do first. Okay, so let me try cloning a repository. And it says immediately you will be getting two options. Don't click on the clone from GitHub, but use the clone from URL, and it will ask you where should this be saved. So if I go to my work folder, let's say I'll just go to my downloads, works, and select the repository location. It is going to clone it quickly, and then it will be asking whether you want to open the cloned repository. So we'll just open it up, and this is how my whole application looks like. Okay, so we've got file editor here, the file list here. There is a search bar, and this is one of the extensions. So if I go through my extensions, all the extensions that I have done is only like the 8 extensions that I have already shown you. This is just a theme. It is not much important. Here is the snippets for React and Redux. Then I've got ESLint and Prettier. These two things are really helpful. Then Git history and Git lens helps you to look at how a page has been changed. For example, if you see this, that if you open a file and view the history, a lot of things can be seen. And if you click on one particular line, you will be able to see the history connected to the GitHub as well. And Git lens is really nice as well. So what Git lens does is, like, when you click on a line, it also shows you who actually created the code, etc. So this is really helpful too. And with respect to Prettier, it's going to format all those things, and otherwise all the other things are less important. So how many of you know how to start with Node.js? So let's quickly find out. Okay, there are a couple of people. Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, with the whole VS Code, I have got an integrated file system management, which is here, and I've got the terminal that is here, so I can use my terminal here. And then I've got my Git things as well here, in case if people are not happy using Git command line, we can also use the source code here. Like, you can directly write the source code here, and you can use the GUI here, and you can commit or update the changes. So everything can be done from inside Visual Studio Code itself. That is the good thing about VS Code. Okay, let's directly hit going on the demo. How many of you are ready for the demo now? So we'll be doing something similar to Google Drive, but for drawing. Okay, so I'm just going to close all these things. Even this is not required now, so I'm just going to close this. I hope everyone has copied the URL. So the first thing that we want to do is we need to create a server file. So the main app file. So I'm just going to name it as app.js. Okay. So this is a JavaScript file, and we need to run this JavaScript file using Node.js. That is the first step that we need to do. So how do we run this? So if I try to say console.log, hello everyone, and if I need to run this one, see, the moment I save it, it automatically puts the semicolons where it is required and all those things. So if I need to run this, all I need to do is I need to type in node and then type in app. App is the file name here. I get hello everyone. So this is the way you will be executing a Node.js application. For this, you need to have Node.js installed. So this will come along with Node.js and npm. Okay. So let me quickly look at the comments. Okay, not many comments are coming in, and okay, so some people have asked me what is Express and other things. Okay, great. So Express is for example, if you take PHP as an example, the LAMP stack as an example, you have Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So you have Apache, PHP, and MySQL. MySQL, everyone knows that it is the database server. We can remove the database. So we have Apache and PHP. So Apache is the web server and PHP is the language that runs the whole script, right? Similar to it, not exactly the same, similar to it, Node.js can be compared with Apache and Express can be compared with PHP. That is one of the web framework that we will be using. Okay, so this is a simple Node application which we just did. So let's start with creating a package now. So to create a package, we will be using something called as npm, which is called as Node Package Manager. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in npm init, which means npm init. So this is going to initialize the Node package. So this will say this utility will walk you through creating a package.json file. So a package.json is one that is going to help you in creating, managing, and running the whole Node.js application. Okay, so let's go ahead with creating the package name. So whenever it says it is asking for what is the package name, everything, so it is going to put something inside the brackets, inside the parenthesis, which means it has automatically pre-filled a couple of values for you. So those values will be shown as like if you want to use those values, or if you want to enter something. Express Doodle looks good. I'm gonna press enter. Version 1.0, happy with that. Enter. Description, I'm just gonna copy the description from my GitHub page. So I'll just go to GitHub/Praveen Science. And if I go to my repositories, the first repositories is this one. Okay, what is happening here? Okay, maybe it is not showing me because I'm not logged in. Okay, so this is the first time I'm looking at GitHub after it has gone through a lot of changes. Okay, I'll just copy this one and I'm just going to paste it here. And then entry point, it automatically detected that we have actually created a file called app.js. So I'm just going to press enter. Test command, we don't have any test command. Git repository, it automatically knows that this is the Git repository. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this one. Copy this one instead of the one which has my username. So I'm just going to paste this here. Then keywords. I'm just going to give Node.js, Express.js, Socket, IO. What else we are going to use? Doodle, etc. And then author, I'm just going to give my name. And then license, it says ISC, it is International Software Consortium. I'm just okay with this. So it is going to also give me a, it is going to write this package.json file. So it is asking me whether this is okay to be written. I believe like everything is okay except the scripts part, which I'm going to type in. So once this is done, you will be able to see that there is a file called package.json that's created. And here I need to create a start function. The start needs to be node app. If I save this one, what I can do is I can just do npm start, which is going to be the default way of starting a JavaScript application, and it opens up. Okay, so just give me 1 second. Hey, we have Sohini here and a lot of others. Right, thanks for supporting me. Okay, so we've got this one, and the next thing that we are going to do is, let me quickly check all the questions from the chat. Okay, there are not many. And okay, so there are a lot of people who have joined who have not much clue about what is happening, but please stick around with this. You will be able to understand something. So everyone started very basically. So like I had no clue until I tried creating something like this. So anything will help. So stay around and this will definitely help you. So for people who are happy with like using the Git on the client side, what I would be doing here is here, if you see this, it says U means untracked. It means it has not been tracked by Git application. So what we will be first doing is we will try to create a .git ignore as well. That is one of the main things. So I'm using a Mac machine, so I can do touch .git ignore, which means it is going to create that file in a new way. For Windows users, you can use edit, or I don't think Vim works in Windows. There will be other options, so I'll try to look at it later. So in the git ignore, I don't want people to like, I don't want the git to track the node modules folder. So I'm just saving it so that that folder will not be tracked. Okay. The reason why I'll be saying in a couple of minutes. Okay. So now once I have updated these things, what I want to do is I want to add all these things and I'll commit it as created an initial Node.js application. Okay, so this will also go through what all things that we are creating one by one. And the moment I do a git push, it is going to push it into the repository. So until now you are looking at something that is not there. Now you have got a page to look at. Okay, so this is the page and it has nothing related to what we are doing or how we are doing. So what we can do is we can create a new file that says readme.md, and I strongly suggest a software called what do you call this, Typora. So Typora, this is Typora, and this is one of the best software I have seen for writing GitHub flavored markdown. So I'm just going to quickly run through what it does. So let's go ahead and understand what our application is. It's Express Doodle, right? So I'll just type in Express Doodle. So all the languages that I type in Typora is markdown. Okay. So the moment I type it, it automatically becomes, you know, like a heading one and stuff like that. And let me also get the thing that I wrote here. So we can do like introduction and motivation. You know, start. So this is it. This is also a part of Praveen's live stream, so which can be linked to that YouTube URL. So I'm just going to copy this video URL, and yes, I will be showing how to deploy this as well. So that is also included here. Yeah. Now I'll just save this for now, and also if I need to do an installation, I will also do create. Requirements. All you need is a compatible browser like Google Chrome, Node.js latest stable version, and I guess that's all you need to do. Installing the application, or maybe we can make this as getting started, and we'll make it as installation here. So the first thing when you do is clone the application, clone the repository. Then second thing is install using the following command, run the application. So you can use something like, oops, npm start, or sorry, npm install, so that this will install all the dependencies. And then to start the application, run the following command. So it's going to be similar. All you need to do is run npm start. That's it. All right, so we have saved this file. The moment we have saved this file, it immediately shows that here it is an untracked file. So I'm just gonna click on staging. It is now a staged file, and then I'm gonna write like created a readme, and now no more beating around the bush. Directly we will be jumping into the creation of application. Okay, so the moment this is pushed, if I refresh this page, I guess it needs some more time. Yep, it's pushed. Okay. So I have pushed it for sure. Okay, there you go. So we have got Express Doodle and all these things that we wrote here. Right, let's go on. So the first thing that we will be looking at is creating an Express.js server. What is an Express.js server? With respect to Node.js, what Node.js does is just compile or execute your JavaScript code. It doesn't do much after that. So to make this JavaScript code work better, we need to use, what do you call this? We need to kind of install a supporting server, which is one of the supporting server is Express.js. There are other things like HTTP server, there is HTTPS server, Fastify, Webpack Dev server. There are like so many things are available. Let's go ahead with Express because I'm very comfortable with Express. So to install Express.js, what we need to do is we need to run a particular command called npm install Express. So this is the command that we will be running first. So once we run this, it's going to take all the setup files and it's already done. So you'll be able to see that it says it's a dependency and it will be running in the Express. And I'm just gonna add all these things. Save it as installed Express. And once we have installed Express, how are we going to use it in our application? So we need to use const express equal to require. Require is the way you will be able to import any external files. If you type in Express, it's gonna already display that there is already Express available, so you want to import it. So we are going to import this way. Sorry, just give me 1 second. All right, so is everything here clear? Whatever I'm telling you, etc. Just let me know if something is not clear. Okay, so the easiest way to start an Express server is you need to create an app instance of the Express. So to create an app instance, it is as simple as how people do it in using Java. This is JavaScript, so there is no like app equal to new app or something like that. But instead, what we do is we will create a constant, which is app, and we will initialize it to an instance of Express. So this is an Express application here. And once we do this, the first thing that we need to do is this app needs a place to listen. So listen will take up what do you call this? A port number and the callback function. So let's go ahead with 3000 as the port number and a function that says, yeah, we are listening here. Okay, so if I open this and start typing something like, um, let's say I'm giving a log saying like server started in port 3000 and I save it. Now, if each and every time when I do this, I need to do npm start, right? So let me first do npm start. So it says server started in port 3000, and if I do any changes, this will not be reflected. So I need to stop it and start it. For that, I have an idea. It is called Nodemon. I'm just going to show you soon. So if I open localhost 3000, it's going to show me cannot get slash. Okay. So this means it is not able to see the slash URL. It doesn't have a get request to the URL. So what I can do for now is app.get slash, I'm going to put like a function, a callback function, which takes in, but before that I need to see, okay, first is the request, then the response, and I need to send a response. I'll send a JSON response saying like, hello everyone. And then I'll save it, but still I won't be able to get the right output. Reason is I need to restart the server. So I just made an npm, I just killed the current current running application, and then did an npm start. But if I refresh now, it is going to show me hello everyone. Okay, so this is a basic way of setting up our Express.js server. Now let's go on and make this thing automatically working. Okay, so what we have done so far is set up an Express.js server. So we want all these things to be automatically reloading or restarting when things happen. So what we will do is we will install something called as Nodemon. Nodemon is a nice application. What it does is it's going to look for any changes in JavaScript files or JSON files. And if something is changed, it is going to restart the whole application. So we need to update the start script as well. So if I go to my package.json, instead of using node app, I'm just going to put nodemon app. Okay, I'm just going to save this as well. So once I do this, if I, okay, before doing it, let me quickly see. So I have changed the start command by using nodemon app, and I have also added nodemon as the dependency. So let's go ahead. And if I try doing npm start here, it says server started. And if I say, hello people, it automatically restarts due to changes. Okay. If I again, like revert this back and save it, it is going to restart again. Okay. So if I refresh this, it's going to stay alive. And this is why I told we will be using Nodemon. Okay. So now we have done the basic thing for Nodemon. Okay. So until this, we have created a basic web server. But another thing is when we are trying to create some kind of like a doodle style application, we want to use our own, like HTML and CSS. So how are we going to do? Let's create a folder which has like say public or maybe static, which instead of that I'll just use public itself. Okay, and then I'll create a new file which is say index.html. So here I'll just create a new file which has doodle app, and then I'm gonna give everyone saying like hello. And let's add something like this as well. So doodle app, express doodle app, and then let this be inside a paragraph tag. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is instead of using a get handler here, I'm going to use app.use, which means I'm going to use a middleware, and then I'm going to use express.static. So static is something that is going to take um, a static website. So before that, I want to use it for this particular location, and the handler is going to be an express.static. So this will be taking the directory name, the current directory name, and then I'm going to use the public directory here. Okay, if I save this and refresh this page, boom, I've got the Express Doodle app, which is the HTML file that I used. Questions? Anything? It's going fine, right? I'm just going to quickly look into the chat messages if I have got anything. Okay, I don't see any chat messages at the moment. Okay, let's go on. The next thing that we will be doing is the interesting part. We'll be using the Socket.io. So Socket.io is the go-to thing for installing like running all these real-time applications. So let's see how we can install it. All we need to do is we need to use npm install socket.io, and I don't know why people have not given it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna try doing it on myself, and I'll teach you one by one. All right. So the first thing that we will be doing here is we need to install Socket.io. So how are we going to install this? Using npm install. So here in my VS Code, what I can do is I can create a new tab, like a new terminal, and I'll do, okay, something is already, okay, we created the express static, right? So always don't forget to commit everything, whatever changes that you have done. Created a static app using express static static endpoint maybe. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and install Socket.io. So this is going to fetch it from the npm repository, and this is done as well. So installed Socket.io, and the way we will be using Socket.io is a bit different. Since we already have an Express application, what we need to do here is we need to initialize it in such a way that the first thing is we will be using a HTTP server. Okay, so HTTP server automatically comes from what do you call this? Comes from Express server. So what I'm going to do is I'll start with const http equal to require http. So this is the http server, not the express server, and we need to create a server instance of the http using the express app instance. So I'm gonna use .server, which is gonna take up app. Okay, so this will be initializing a HTTP server using the app server that we created using Express. There is a reason why we have done this, because we will be using the basic Express server to give the static website, and we will also be using the Socket.io, which runs on the WebSocket server, and we will be connecting both on the same domain. That is the reason we are using this. It is something like a, what do you call this, like port. Okay, I'll show you how two things can be done on one particular thing. So we'll also use the Socket.io implementation. So we will try to require Socket.io, and then for this one we need to initialize it directly here. So what we will be doing is we will be using the HTTP server which we created in the previous line. So I'm just going to use HTTP here. So this IO is a socket instance, and this will have both the Express application as well as the Socket.io application. That is how we have planned it. So now the first thing that we need to do is we need to create an event handler for the socket connection. So how we will be doing is we need to look into, we need to change the listen part now, because right now we have connected to the HTTP server, not the Express server. So let's try to change the app into http.listen, and then let's see if this actually works. That works as well. So now we have connected both this socket IO on HTTP server as well as the app server on the HTTP server. So both the servers are running on the same place. So that is first thing which we need to do. So right now what we have done, we have updated the code to use HTTP server for both IO and static. Okay, so that's been done. And let me push this code. The next thing that we will be doing is we need to use the socket IO to add the options here. So first thing that we will be doing is let's create a connection. Okay, so let's create a function that needs to run when socket IO gets connected. So we'll use an on connection, which is a event handler. Okay, this is how we kind of like declare a function, right? So io.on connection is the way we will be declaring the event, right? So we have an, it is required already, right? So io.on. Okay, so on is, it's like it is going to do something when some event occurs. What is the event? On connection is the event. And what is the function? This is going to be the function. The on connection function is going to be the function. Okay. So now what happens is, whenever this particular socket IO WebSocket gets a connection request, whatever is there inside the on connection will start working. So that is what we are going to do. So what are we going to write inside on connection is what we will be using the socket here. At the moment we'll be using the socket here. Okay, so generally when you are trying to use, for example, if you are clicking here, we have an event handler. So on click, there will be a window.event that gets generated. The same way, if you are using on connection here, there will be a socket that gets generated here. So we will be using this particular socket and we will be working on top of it. So what does the socket contain? That also is an asynchronous connection here. So socket dot on, some kind of a event will happen right now. So what happens when an event happens? So the one of the channels that we will be using is, let's say we will use a drawing channel. Okay, so on drawing, so something needs to happen now. Like for example, this needs to broadcast the data to everyone. So what we will be doing is we will have the draw element here. All right, so we'll have the data element here, and we need to do we need to broadcast the drawing data there. Okay, so on data, you will be getting the data, and this is again an arrow function. So socket dot emit, we'll do the emit. Sorry, I guess it's broadcast dot emit. Just give me a second. Let me quickly clarify that. So it's we need to broadcast first. So broadcast, and for this broadcast we will be emitting, not receiving. We will be emitting. We'll be emitting the drawing with the data that we receive. So this is what we will be doing. Okay, I hope this really works. This is the first time I'm doing this and on live, so mistakes are bound to happen. So let's say we will start with added a broadcast server, and let's save it. Okay, so now we have done all the server side part. Now we need to work on the client side part. Okay, client application is what we need to work on. So the first thing is we need to somehow create a canvas that will accept a drawing, and then we will start working on top of it. Okay, just give me 1 second. So by now it should actually be able to run a socket server. So I need to get the sockets client API. So give me 1 second. Let me quickly look through the socket manual. So I'm just going to quickly looking at what people are saying. So Pratik says, when we are using Express, then why are we using HTTP? So the explanation for that is, when we are using Express, there is only one thing that is going to work here, right? So we have two different servers. One is the Socket.io server. The other one is the Express server. So to combine both the servers, we are using HTTP server, which handles both the requests from Express as well as Socket.io. That is the reason. Okay, so the way the Socket.io server works is it will automatically provide us with some nice details here. So let me try if we get those things. So if I do socket.io, boom, there you go. So this is where all the socket functions exist. So it is saying a bad request here. Let's see if I'm able to connect to any of these JavaScript file. So let's try to use /socket.io/socket.io.js. Oh, there we go. So for answering Pratik's question, if we are using just Express, we won't be able to access this URL. This URL is given by Socket.io, and how it happens is this IO is requiring the Socket.io instance on the HTTP server. At the same time, the app server is also running on the HTTP server. So there are two servers that is running on the same HTTP server. So thereby, if you are requesting anything related to Socket.io, that will be served by this IO method. And if you are requesting anything related to the standard, the GET request, it is going to switch to the Express server. But I'm just going to quickly look at what exactly gives you this one. So this says X powered by Express, and if I use this one, it says there is no X powered. So this is not actually created by the Express server, but this is actually created by the Express server. So there are two tags that is already running here. Sorry, two servers that are already running in the one particular domain. So it's kind of like, API gateway kind of thing. So that is what is happening here. Okay, with that being said, let's start building our HTML now. Okay, so we need to go into our index.html. We can start with importing the script file, which is what we just saw here, right? So there is this socket.io/socket.io.js. So now we can use all the socket functions, and we will also create one more HTML script file. So script.js. And I'm just going to include that file, script.js. Okay, so this file now that I have included this file, I'm pretty sure that this has some kind of like a I'm not sure whether there will be any socket connection started, but it has already included the socket library. All right, so the first thing that we will be looking at this is we will start with creating the what do you call this? We will start with creating this site here now first. So I need to create a simple canvas. Okay, so I'll start with creating a canvas. So if I go here, here's a canvas. Please draw as you please. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a canvas tag. Okay, a canvas tag is mainly for creating awesome drawings. So most of the Flash based things will work on canvas. So that's what I have created a canvas here. So I'll just give a canvas with a class of say whiteboard, and then I'll just save it. There is nothing else here. So if I try to go here and refresh this one, it says here's a canvas, please draw as you please. That's all I have given. Now we need to do some nice write some good CSS as well. So I'm just gonna go to the top and give style.css. Let's create a style.css and give margin 0, padding 0, list style none, the usual stuff, box sizing, border box. What else do we want? Font family. I love Open Sans. So if I refresh this page, it looks kind of this way. And yeah, for now, let's just leave this way. And for this whiteboard alone, let's give a box shadow. And it's gonna be 0, 0, let's say 5 pixel of box shadow with the color of RGBA black with an alpha transparency of 0.25. If I refresh this page, you can clearly see something like this comes up. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to give margin 10 pixels and I'll give, I can give width 100% if I do a margin 10 pixels. Auto and width 90% so that I can see something like this. Wow. For some reason, it is not actually aligning correctly. Boom. So now we can see that there is a canvas here, and I'll just put a quick border radius of 10px so that it looks a bit nice. Okay, so we have got a canvas right now, but this canvas doesn't do anything. So what we have done so far is like we created a simple HTML page with a canvas and a basic style. So we need to do something with respect to the scripts and other things. So we created a basic can we say outline, basic outline or basic skeleton for this with a canvas. Okay, let me push the code. Now we will start with okay, before that, let's try to look at what we have pushed so far. So we've got all these things. We could use something like Heroku to host this because Heroku supports Node, and since we have got package.json, it will automatically install it and run it as well. So that would also help us in something. Okay, so once we have done this, now I guess we have completed this one till this. So we can start writing our what do you call this, the on drawing functions and the other things. So that will start we can start working on those. For questions, let's quickly answer a couple of questions. So first thing, Ashish, we will be deploying this on Heroku, and that will be happening now. And for Pratik, for Suryesh, Express is a wrapper of HTTP. Yes, that's right. Kind of. In the basic ways, it is going to use Express server. Yeah, so sorry, Express in its basic terms, it will be using the HTTP server internally. So yes, that is the answer. Okay, let's start with the JavaScript file now. So the first thing is I need to initialize the socket. Okay, so what we are going to do now is inside this one, since we are including the script at the end, we don't need to write anything related to the document ready function. So I'll start with expressing like, wait, should I use const or var? I guess since we are working on a browser, I'll just use var. Okay, so socket is equal to we need to initialize the socket server. So we'll use the IO function here, and let's try using what socket actually shows us in the browser. Okay, so if we go back here, if I do F12 and refresh this page, go to the console, I can clearly see that there is a socket initialized. Okay, so you have the acknowledgements, you have the IO, everything is there. So socket.io is already available for us. Okay, so that we have done now. Now the next thing that we need to do is start getting the context and the canvas. So we need to get the canvas, and then we need to also get the context of this canvas. Okay, so for getting the context, for getting the canvas, what we have done here is we have used a class called whiteboard. So I'll do var canvas equal to document.query selector. This will select only one, so I'll use whiteboard here, and context is going to be the canvas dot get context. I guess it's get context, I believe. So it's getting the 2D context. So get context, and that's going to be 2D. Let's quickly check that as well. Okay, so let's try checking what is context, and oops, sorry. Let's save it. See if this is perfect. Yep. So we have got canvas rendering context in 2D, and the element is canvas.whiteboard. This is the particular element that we are looking at, and we've got all these things. For now, we have done the context of the canvas as well. Okay. So whenever we are also trying to the reload everything, clear everything, it is also showing us the socket. Okay, it's not great. So at the point of time, if you try to draw anything on this canvas, nothing is gonna work. So for now, let's try to we are not committing this so soon. So let's try to create something like, for example, creating a color or something like that, and then try to draw something, and then when the drawing is happening, then we will create a small commit. All right. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to set a flag whether we are drawing right now or not. Okay, so let's do a flag. We are currently not drawing. So when we will be drawing, when this particular thing, we are using the mouse, and then if we are clicking down the mouse and then we are dragging it, at that point of time we are drawing. At the same time, other times we are not drawing. So all the times this particular function will be executing, the on mouse move function will be executing. So only when we have placed like clicked and placed our mouse button, we will be drawing. At the same time, when you are using a mobile phone or something like that, even there you can do something like, for example, you can use the touch start, touch end, and touch out for making sure the drawing is happening. Okay, and touch move, I guess I'll just check it out if that is touch move. Yeah, so touch start, touch end, touch cancel, and touch move are the four alternatives for mouse down, mouse up, mouse out, and mouse move. So these are the ways that we will be using the event listeners. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I will be trying to create a canvas here. So canvas event listener here. So what we will create is, but before creating the canvas thing, I need to create the mouse move and other things as well. Okay, so let's start with so I know that a lot of people might be like having a lot of questions, so let me quickly answer the chats. Okay, no more questions here. Okay, Mohit, are you around? It seems Mohit is also not there. Okay, let me start with creating the functions, the event listeners. we have three event listeners totally. That is, one is on mouse move, on mouse um, down, and on mouse up, right? So the first event listener is on mouse move. So what this thing does is, for some reason, I'm not able to see what is the git thing here. Okay, the whole file is not actually saved. Right. So we have three functions, which is on mouse down, on mouse up, and on mouse move. I'll explain what I have done so far in this. So when the mouse down is done, I'm going to say the drawing is true. And we also need to have a current object here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a var current equal to an object. And at this object, I want to also initialize a color. For now, I'll just put black here. And then with that being said, now I have created these three events. So mouse down will make the drawing true. Mouse up will make the drawing false. And also this will also do a draw line as well. And then on mouse move, it is going to draw the line really. Okay. So we need to also try to write the draw line function, which is a function of writing it on the canvas. Okay. So what does draw line does is it is going to do two things. Okay. So the first thing what it is going to do is it is first going to take up a couple of inputs, x0, y0, which is the starting xy characters, and x1, y1, which is the ending xy characters, then the color, which is the current color, and should we emit it or not. Okay, so it is going to create a path, and then it is going to do the moving from x0 to y0. So it's going to create, literally it's going to create a line from x0 and y0, and we'll be doing the same thing, and then it will close the path as well once the path is drawn. And if we are not emitting at the moment, we are returning it, like we are stopping the function from doing anything. Why we are doing this is we are supposed to throttle the function. When we try to draw anything, any element, or like when our hand starts drawing something, we are tend to send a lot of messages. So we will try to reduce the number of messages, or at least we will debounce the messages for every 10 milliseconds. That is what is the main idea here. So when we are moving the mouse around, we are trying to do the drawing, and then on mouse up, we are stopping the drawing as well. So right now we have done almost everything. So we are setting up the current, and draw line is happening. Once the draw line happens, we are going to start working on these things. Okay. So this one, and also we need to initialize our window to resize it on the right way possible. So we will create a resize event as well, which is going to have how shall we, okay, before that, the throttler function. So let's try to throttle the function by using a timer. Okay, so this is going to be like we are going to take a call back, and we are going to take a delay. So if the previous call, like let's say a previous call is made at a particular time, and if the time the new call has been made and the previous call, the time between these two calls is greater than or equal to delay, then we are updating the previous call with the current time, and we are running the call back. That is what we are going to do. So this is what we will be trying to execute or ensure. So this is the throttling function. It's a simple throttling function that we are doing. And once we do this, also we need to also set something as well. So we need to make the canvas to fill its parent, but I don't think it is required at the moment. So for now, we will start with this one. Okay. So now, once we have got almost all the functions saved, I believe this will actually work. Let's try to run this. So if I try, okay, sorry, something is not actually working. So let's try to inspect and see what exactly is a problem. Okay, so mouse move, nothing. Oh, okay, wait. So we have totally forgotten to, we have actually created all the functions here. So this is the throttler function, this is the draw line function, mouse move, mouse up, and all the mouse move functions. So created throttler and drawing functions. Now we need to set the event handler. Okay, so when this canvas has uh, if what we need to do is we need to start with adding an event listener for the canvas. So the moment mouse down does, we press the mouse down, we need to execute the on mouse down function. When we do the mouse up, we need to execute the on mouse up functions. When we do mouse out, even then we will be executing the on mouse up function only. So let's try doing with one. So canvas dot. So we've got, well, instead of using this one, we'll just do add event listener. So this is how we will be using. So what is the exact event that we are going to listen to? So that's going to be on mouse down. So we'll do like on mouse down. So here it is. So this is the same thing we'll be copying and pasting for others. Okay. And the third parameter, that is like, do we need to have the add event listener? So nope, we are not passing any more options. Okay. So we are going to do 4 different events. This is for the mouse events. The same way, we will also be doing some touch events as well. On touch start, on touch, wait, is it touch start or on touch start? Okay, let's go with touch start, touch end. We'll use the touch events here as well. So the touches are mainly for the mouse, like the, what do you call this? For the mobile events. So we have mouse down, we will do on mouse down. The same thing is with touch start. Touch start and mouse down are the same. So we are starting to draw. Then mouse up and on mouse up are the same. So we are stopping the drawing. Mouse out and touch cancel are the same. So when the canvas is like this and we are trying to take our hand away from the canvas, it is going to clear it, right? So I mean, it is going to stop the drawing, right? So that is as similar as taking the mouse away from the canvas or taking our hand away from the mouse. So touch cancel and touch move and mouse move. This is where the main point comes. So when we try to draw something, the computer is so fast that it's going to capture the frames like 100 or 1000 frames per second. We don't want to do that. So we will be throttling it to every 10 milliseconds. So 10 milliseconds means per second you will be sending out 100 messages. So that is what we are doing. So we are using a throttle function. So if you go inside the throttle function, we are also doing a callback and delay, right? So I explained the delay parameter, what it does. So the same way, we'll be doing the on mouse move with a delay of 10 milliseconds. So this is what is going to happen. So this is for the browser and this is for the touch devices. Okay, now we have saved this. Let's try to draw something. Okay, I need to refresh the page. Okay, still something is not working. So let's try to inspect and see what exactly is happening. Okay, nothing is happening. Right. So did we initialize the canvas correctly? So canvas is here. Okay. So mouse down, on mouse down, it goes here. Let me try to see drawing on mouse up. Start. Then drawing stop. And for mouse move, drawing currently. Okay, something like that. We will add it and we'll see how the console behaves us. Okay, actually it is not working really. Okay, oh, there you go. It actually came. It does. Look at the number of um, things are happening, but for some reason nothing is actually displaying here, which is interesting. So let's see where exactly we went wrong. So we've got x1, y1. Let's see what exactly is going to through x1 and y1. So this is client x, client y, current. Okay, current y, current x is there. So let me see if I have got the current thing correctly. Let us try to use a window resize event. Okay, so when this window is getting resized, we want the whole, like the whole application to have, like, what do you call this? Let's create a function on resize. Let's set the canvas, like the size of the canvas to fit the inner height and inner width. I don't know whether this is going to work, but let's try it out and see what happens here. So that actually could be a reason. So let me try to reload the page. Oh yeah, something actually happened. Okay, it is working, but we are not able to get it in the right way. It is because of the CSS that we use. So we need to actually have this perfectly written. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the display block and width and height. So if I refresh this page, it's going to automatically adjust it, but still I'm not able to get this because this needs to, okay. So now I understand what exactly is happening here. So when we are trying to do, we are not accommodating these things. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of these two elements from here. And let's reload. So this is how the canvas looks, but you can see that there is some margin here. So I'll get rid of this margin as well. So if we refresh this, this is the complete canvas and we are able to see the whole thing coming here as well. Now, the good thing about this one is, if you see the network tab here, you can see there is something called socket here. Okay, so whenever we are trying to draw something, you can see that there is so many number of drawings is going as a message. So this is something which we have actually controlled. For every second, we are controlling it in what do you call this? For a single second, we are only limiting to 100 messages being sent, or else your browser will die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this window, duplicate this tab, set it here, and let's try to put these both to nearby each other. Okay, so if I try to do something, this is able to send the code, but it is not able to receive it. So that is when the socket IO function comes in. Okay, so let's have these two things together right now, and let's see what's going to happen now. So now, so far we have actually figured out how to make the whole thing work, right? So we will try to do this one. Client side drawing now works. Okay. Okay, so whenever we are trying to draw something, we need to emit this, right? So we have already created the draw line function. And this emit comes from the draw line function. So inside the draw line, we are giving the true here, and we are also emitting it, but we are not receiving it. That is what we need to do first. Okay, so let's try to connect to the socket IO as the drawing thing, and then we need to work on it. So let me look into how we can get the drawing here. But before that, I'll quickly look at the chat messages. Okay, not many messages. Okay, just give me some time. Let me quickly refer something. So we are already doing the strokes. That is done. We have set the current color, and we have also done the context. So let me see how we are supposed to send. Right. So we have already done this one, right? We need to create an event here. So the event that actually sends the data to the socket server. So what I'm going to do now is, let's create an on drawing event here. Okay, so the draw line takes up a couple of arguments, right? So x0, y0, right? So we will use it from the data as well. So data dot x0, data dot y0. This data is coming from the what do you call this? Coming from the socket IO server. Okay, we will try to use these data from there, and then that will help us draw on this page. Okay, so the first one will be, we are converting the x0. So whatever we are sending it in a proportional way, and we are receiving it now in a proportional way. Okay, so when this whole thing needs to be done, so when the socket gets a connection, okay, so there is a event for socket which is going to do the drawing channel. Like when something is happening on the drawing channel, we'll go with the drawing. This is the channel name, and then we can do on drawing event. Okay, if I save this, let's look at what is the difference between these two. Yeah, we have just created the drawing event. Okay. Oops. Created the drawing event connected to socket. Okay, so before doing anything, let's try to refresh these two pages. Okay, both the pages are refreshed. Now let's, yeah. Now when I try drawing here, it gets mimicked to the other thing. So that's something that we are making it work. And now if you see this, whatever we draw here on this page, that gets perfectly applied on the other page. So that is something which we will be doing today. So that's what we did now. So let me try to save this code and push them. So how about if we are able to create a lot of colors now? Okay, let me quickly look at the YouTube comments too. Okay, not many comments. So let's go on. So what all things that we did is, we created event listeners for let's try to see what all things are there. We created a couple of event listeners on the canvas for mouse down, mouse up, mouse out, and mouse move. The same thing is copied for the mobile devices or touch devices using touch start, touch end, touch cancel, and touch move. We throttled the mouse move because we don't want to send so many data in a short time to the server. And then when the resize thing happens, we are setting the width and height of the canvas to the, what do you call this? To our screen's width and height. And finally, oh, now I understand why it was showing in a blurred way. I have actually zoomed in. Okay, let me zoom it out. Now it should be clear. So if I try to draw something, there you go. Now it is very clear. So if I try YouTube, it is actually really clear now. So I did not think that the zoom thing actually causes so much trouble. Like, window zooming the browser window causes some trouble because we are looking through the height and width of the canvas, and we are trying to proportionally, like put all these things correctly. But so during the window, event resize might not be necessary if we have not zoomed. But this is good that we found a problem and we also sorted it out. And then finally, we are sending the data that we have locally to the socket by emitting the data here. So that's exactly what we did in this socket IO experiment, and this works. So if I try to open the same website from my browser, sorry, from my mobile or something. So if I try to use this one, okay, that actually works. So this works. So all these three places will have the thing. So I need to find what is my local IP address here. So if I go to ifconfig and this is the local address, en0 should be the one, 192.168.1.1, so 1.11. So that actually works. So if I try to open it using my mobile, let me try this. I don't know if this works. So it is 192.168.0.11. There's a colon 3000. Boom, I'm able to see the screen here. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me set my mobiles, all these screens to my mobile screen size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a DevTools thing. Okay, so the same way here as well. So both of them are like iPhone X or something like that. I'm using an OnePlus phone, so it is almost similar, right? So let's try this. There you go. So I'm gonna refresh this. I just refreshed the page, so that's the reason. Okay, so if I start drawing something here, like say hi, so I'm able to draw it, and all these things come up here as well. So if I try to draw something like, for example, yeah, there you go. Whatever is drawn here, that comes there. So we have kind of like achieved what we wanted, and here you go. Any questions? Anything? How was it? So let me put hi as well, like a small dot. Yeah. Maybe we can improve this code by adding some colors and stuff. That's something which I can think of doing. And I guess I need to also try doing a deployment as well. Okay, let me quickly look at the chat. Okay, not many. And so yeah, anyone around, like Mohit? So what do you think? Okay, I'm getting a couple of messages in Zoom. Okay, for adding colors, what we can do is, okay, the question is like, how would you add more colors? So if you look at this code, we have tried creating a current object with a color called black. Whenever we click on a button or something like that, we can set the color to be some color, like for example, yellow or something like that. Let's start with blue, and I'll save this and reload this page and try to do something. It's gonna come in blue. So look at this one. So as long as we are able to, like get this whole thing done, there you go. So we've got the blue color here, and this way, if you want something like yellow here, let's try to do yellow. And maybe we can add a sun or something. Yeah, that works. And we can also try something with the width of the cursor. So right now it is like 2 pixel width, which is defined in on draw function. Let's look at the draw line. Yeah, stroke line width is 2 right now. So we can also add a width to this one, and we can make it as like a full-fledged doodling application. So this is one of the best applications of using Socket IO other than chat. And this is something which we can do. Any questions? Or I'll just stop screen sharing. And here we go. Mohit, are you around? Okay, I'm not sure whether Mohit is there. And so if there are no other
Yeah, Praveen, I
questions,
am there.
hey, hi.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Praveen. I guess in YouTube there is some questions, so I'm not able to read. Uh, can you read that from here there, if
The
possible?
only question I can see is from Vinayak Nirvani. How would you change the color of the pen? And I just explained what are all the different ways of changing the color of the pen, which I explained just now, like for the past 2 minutes.
Okay. In the Zoom right now, there is like no question from the pupil as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Rishikesh,
what did you see? I mean, like, what did you feel? Was it okay? How was the
yeah,
session today?
it was the awesome session. It's awesome.
Nice. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you so
anything
much for
else?
organizing a lot. Like it's an awesome session as well,
Thank you.
Praveen.
Yeah, we did not like plan properly. The YouTube thing got screwed
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. From the like, we will like learn from this incident. Definitely.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. Nice. Anything else?
I guess no, and we are going to wrap up the session, right?
Thank you, Mohit. Yeah, you can say the wrapping up words, and we can finish it off.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Praveen, and for the awesome session, and thank you so much for the audience from the like YouTube as well and the Zoom session who like joining us on the Zoom as well. So this was the, and I hope everyone has learned a lot of things from this session, and they are able to create the doodle for their self in their computer today. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
There are a couple of questions again, like from Vinayak. Hey, Vinayak. So yes, Vinayak and Pushkar. Um, DSA needed for front end developer? Zero. No, it is not needed. Okay. And second thing with respect to Vinayak, I missed in between. Thanks for it. Sorry, Vinayak, you will be able to like go back in a few seconds and then learn how we can do the multiple colors as well. So I did explain about that too. It is pretty easy, like we can easily do that, so that is possible. Pushkar, let me know if you have any more questions on this area. So with respect to data structures and algorithms, I'm a front-end developer for the front-end specialist for about like 12 years, and I'm working in a huge company as well. So there is absolutely no reason for you to like learn DS or DS and algo. But at the same time, if you know DS and algo, it gives you a better way of looking at things. That is one of the main things which I wanted to tell. And with respect to roadmap for front-end developer, I have already created another video on how to become a good front-end developer. Let me put that link down below here in YouTube. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, just a second. I need to find it out. It's definitely, I definitely did a video on it. I guess I got it. Yeah, accelerate your full stack journey. So I'm just gonna copy the URL and yeah. So here is the video link, and that will give you a great amount of insight along with Eddie and other people. So yes, that's one thing. And don't forget to subscribe and give a shout out for hey, what is your Mohit, your channel? We can actually add your channel's link as well. Okay, so Pushkar says, should I start with a service-based company or a startup company product-based? It's a 6-year-old company, same as Shopify. Okay, just have a look at the Glassdoor reviews, what people say about the company, and that will actually give you a more insight on what the company is, how the company work culture is, and other things. And also one more thing which I would say is, let it be whether it's a service based company or a product based company. If you are starting as a fresher, don't think of any of those things. Just go ahead directly, start, getting involved and start working on it. And as long as you like the work culture, then that is what is required, and that is what you should be looking at it in your new company. Okay, nothing else you should be looking into your company. And thanks for your subscription, thank you. And this is what I will it's my humble opinion to go with go with an open mind, irrespective of whether it is a product based or a service based company. So I worked with a couple of companies, out of which only one is a product based company. And for me, product based companies did not work out. I have been working with service based companies a lot, and that really helped me. And okay, with respect to job switches, what I would say is, if you get a okay, that's a tricky thing to follow. Generally, if you start working for a company, the company trusts you, and at least stay at least for a year or two in the company, and prove your trust. If you keep switching a lot of times, that will put yourself in a bad position. Like for example, if you're trying to go for another company, so what happens if you get a offer again after switching to the second company, and you receive another attractive offer, let's say from Google or Microsoft. I mean, if it happens, it is nice, but what if you get that, like maybe something happened, some magic happened, someone saw your performance and maybe saw you from a live stream and called you, so will you again switch it? So then there will be a question of trust, so that will kind of like become a black mark for you. So just think balanced ways of thinking that would actually help you. Maybe Pushkar, if you want to contact me offline, I'm gonna send my LinkedIn URL. Please, everyone, whoever is watching me, please do subscribe to the channel and also connect with me. So in case if there is something that you want to ask me privately, you can also ask me. So that will actually help you in a way, like, if you want to um, get anything clarified or cleared, I'm here. I'm happy to help out in career decisions or anything. But because this is very sensitive in two ways, one is related to your trust and second is related to your career life. It's something like a life decision that you need to take, and you need to be happy about working at the company. So right now, even today, I keep getting a lot of offers, but I'm not taking up much of them. Like I kind of like I have to politely refuse, because currently I'm working in a company and it is like I'm happy there, and I don't feel like I want to switch or something like that. But if something happens, definitely yes, but it is not happening to me. So even if I get an awesome offer from Microsoft or Google, I know it is going to be a tough decision to turn them down, but I will definitely turn them down because we are happy where we are, right? So that is something which you need to think about. I guess that was the last question we got from YouTube. Yes, Mohit. I guess we are done. If there are no more questions, we are done. Okay, folks, I hope, thanks for being such a nice audience, such a supportive audience, and I'm really happy that you all enjoyed. Here's the GitHub URL in YouTube as well. And thanks for sending me in your LinkedIn requests as well. I'll accept everything. And apart from that, I guess that should be it. So let me know if you have any questions on the particular application that we did. This was my first time working with the Express.js and Node.js as well. So please don't take it offensive if I have done a mistake or something like that. And this is completely unplanned session as well. So it just happened like this, and I was able to kind of like coordinate and do something out. So in case of any other questions or queries, I'm happy to answer. And let's get connected on LinkedIn or any other platform which I have sent. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give a shout out to Mohit and team. Thank you so much, guys. And any last words, Mohit?
And yeah, this is like a unplanned session, and we planned within, like, I can say that 1 hour
Sorry, Mohit, you're completely like we are not able to hear you. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying this is a totally the unplanned session.
Right.
So we planned it definitely in future.
All right. Thank you so much. Then, yeah. So, um, keep supporting us, and we both will should work together again. And thanks for this surprise event. So, thanks everyone for coming, and I guess we can part ways now. What say? Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.